Here we go. We're live. Guys, welcome. It is Friday, Financial Fitness Friday. I'm your host, Dave Bergio, here with my man, Jonathan Federa. Jonathan, what's going on, my man? How are you? Good to see you.
I'm good, man. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Guys, let's get right into it. Let's get today. What do for the next 6 months? I think that's the big question. Am I right?
I think it is. I think our focus today is just going to be what can you guys do over the next 6 months, 12 months? Put yourselves in the best position, whether you own a business or you're an individual, right? So I think this is really important. The first thing, I'm going to give you a little bit of a backdrop, okay? The dollar has been strengthening. However, we have high inflation. It's that stagflation I talked about on previous episodes. But eventually what's going to happen is they're going to crash the dollar, okay? And all that means is goods, the price of everything is going to continue to go up, and assets are going to become more valuable. It's a weird time because we're starting to see cracks in the real estate market. Obviously, gold hasn't tracked inflation that well. Precious metals haven't tracked inflation that well. Same thing with properties have, but they're starting to crack and come down. So I think owning assets and acquiring assets as everything is dropping over the next, call it 6, 12, 18 months, you're not going to be able to go wrong, especially cash flowing assets. Okay. That's a big thing there. Cash flowing assets. All right. Next.
Let me touch on that a little bit, interesting. And I think obviously it goes back to a lot of people don't know how financial system in general, and especially with money. And we have all this crazy new age type stuff with cryptocurrency, this hot item, NFTs, all this other stuff. And let's keep this in mind. Here we go with maybe the foil hat, but it's by design, guys. Like to hold this whole dollar. And the asset thing I think is important. And I think, we'll touch on some stuff too, where I think there's some things that are valuable that you wouldn't even think of when it comes to assets as well. But what's your take on this whole this crazy quote unquote conspiracy about the whole US system, at least, and amongst some other parts in the world, going to this digital type currency ordeal?
Like, I don't want to echo Andy, right? Like Andy Frisella on Real AF.
Right.
But what he's saying makes a lot of sense. The only thing I disagree with is the part on crypto, but he's been so right that it kind of scares me a little bit. And I have I believe in it. But if you look at all the moves that have been made, there's no tinfoil hat. They're going to intentionally try to crash the dollar because you got a couple different things, right? We have printed more money than any time before, and we keep printing it, and we call it different things. Like the Inflation Reduction Act, they just printed more fucking money. We keep sending more money overseas, right? And at the end of the day, that's not good because even though the dollar's strengthening right now, I think it's kind of at its peak. And so as this, comes down, it is intentional. And one of the things that I would say is like, we're probably going to wind up in World War III. Not that we want that, but anytime in history that they have tried to change the world currency, okay, or other leaders, it has caused some type of violent outbreak, okay, or some assassination or some war. And right now, what you have is you have Russia and China, okay, working on using a different currency than the petrodollar, right? The fact is, the American dollar, and I don't want to get too much further into this, right? This isn't what it is. This is personal, but that is like a globally accepted measuring stick, right? And that's what you can trade oil at. Well, if they remove that, that takes a lot of the power from the dollar, all right? So that's kind of, you have a lot of different things happening that are all going to kind of crash the dollar. And they may put it into like a central bank digital currency. but it doesn't change the fact that we still printed so much money, and that won't be worth as much, right? There's no way to alter that because the dollar is not backed by anything, right? Central bank digital currency is not going to be backed by anything either. So that's why I'm saying assets over the long term are a wise decision. Now let's get into what can you do over the next 6 months. What can you do over the next 12 months? One, make sure your credit is tight. Okay? Make sure your credit is tight. Two, try to boost your earning power as much as possible. Okay? Three, eliminate all bad debt. That goes against everything I just said from an economic standpoint, right? If we know the dollar's going to be worth less, that debt isn't quote unquote as expensive. However, you just want to be financially sound and have as much flexibility as possible. Okay. And having monthly payments or having bad credit card debt is not going to help. So my opinion is work on your credit, work on your income, get rid of debt, acquire assets. If you are a business, okay, it's very, very important that you work on your systems, your processes, and your partnerships. All right. And you make sure everyone has a great experience. Why? Because you want to be able to produce more leads at the lowest possible cost. A lot of times, referral relationships and partnerships are a great way to drive that. Two, client experience. The better experience your clients have, right, the more they're going to talk about you. It's called, read the book, Word of Mouth Marketing, amazing book. If you can set that up and turn every one client into two clients, okay, or every client into another client, you're going to have exponential growth, which is incredibly important in this time. If you can focus on those items, and then if you're a business owner, have a line of credit set up. If you're a business owner, I'd probably work on getting an SBA right now to be, to have cash to make some moves because there should be some real good opportunities coming up. So that's really what you need to focus on. Okay. And if you can focus on those items over the next 6 and 12 months, in addition to acquiring assets, I think you're in a really good position. But it has to be a cash flowing asset. I wouldn't, that will always help. That will never go out of style, and that is always a good idea.
Cash, I think, may be king in this. I think credit's going to be even a bigger king if you have the cash to back it up. And not get too crazy about leveraging credit either. You know what I mean? Because obviously, hey, people that create a large sum of wealth, the non-Dave Ramsey way, leverage some type of credit, get it. But let's talk about that. What do you see in those next 6 months on the downside?
You got to get closer to the microphone because when you're far away, you're echoing.
I don't want to get that.
I know, but listen, you're used to cylinder things in and around your face. So, hi.
What do you see happening over the next 6 months, like on the downside, like opportunities such as real estate, or any that you've seen or that you think is going to happen?
Well, listen, here's the thing. The markets are going to continue to go down, right? So typically the stock market is always like 6 to 12 months ahead of what the actual economy is going to be doing, right? So you're seeing it almost feels like every day the market's getting lower and lower and lower. That's going to continue to happen, right? Real estate is going to have something similar. I don't think it'll be like 2008, but 20% drawdown from here is definitely on the table. So we're not smart enough, right? I'm not smart enough to time market bottoms. If you can dollar cost average in, and obviously doing it in real estate is a little different, but if you can acquire assets on the way down, you don't really have to time. You don't have to worry about timing it per se. You're still dollar cost averaging it. That's what I would be doing across different asset classes, right? And a big component of that is not having the debt, so you have the flexibility to do that. And then increase your income so that additional income can go into that plan, right? And if you guys can execute on that, in addition to having strong credit, because if you need to use leverage, the leverage would be there. I think that's how you thrive over the next, call it 12 months.
Now, of course, to what do you think about this crypto stuff in general? Because that has some validity to it too. You know, right thing and then wrong things.
I rather not comment on that. Personally, I believe in it. Personally, I am dollar cost averaging in, but I'm not doing it on shit coins. The only two I actually see a future with would be Bitcoin, Ethereum. You can make a an argument for anything on the ISO 20022 or whatever, and anything on that. But again, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. XRP's been on a little bit of a run. So those three I would be dollar cost averaging in, but that's me personally. That's not me giving you guys advice.
Right.
Okay. Just because one, those markets are pretty liquid, even though a lot of people don't think they are. They are. And two, if everything does happen the way I think it's going to happen, you want the liquidity. And I don't think, like, we are definitely not at a bottom. Like, nothing looks like it's bottoming right now. It is on the way down. Okay, so some people are like, hey, fuck it, let's time it. And other people are going to be of the mindset, let's dollar cost average in. I prefer to dollar cost average in addition to doing all the other things we mentioned, put yourself in the best position financially moving forward.
Gotcha. I think sounds good to leave it on a note, but let's talk about something else real quick. We'll put a little plug in. How can we help people, you and I, to do what we do, get them in the right spot, get them in the right position for success? You want to touch a little bit on that?
Yeah. So guys, if you go to my website, Integrated Business Financing, and go to coaching, okay, you can join our group. That is for business owners or people ready to start a business. And basically in that group, we go over high-level strategies, how to set up your business, how to thrive. You get discounts on personal credit. You get discounts on building business credit. You get discounts on all the services in there. And it's literally every service that you need from vetted sources for your business. And it'll also have a lot of great strategy goals. Okay. When you do that, you get a business review for free and you get a needs assessment. And we basically try to help you get from A to B. You tell us where B is, we'll tell you where A is, and we'll try to roadmap it out, the path of least resistance to get from A to B. So go to integratedbusinessfinancing.com, hit up the coaching group, or you can hit up Dave or myself, and we'll guide you there. Also, make sure you're following my YouTube channel. That channel and Trifectas. That channel has a lot of free information about a ton of different programs that'll really help you grow and get on the right side of things.
Yeah, one more thing that a lot of doing internally and revamping. You're going to see this little scruffy face here coming up more often. Next week, starting, you'll see me on a bunch of different platforms, just dropping credit knowledge to help you guys out in general. But that coaching group is huge because I can only so much, and there's just so much more value in there besides credit. Obviously, Ethan was saying. So, guys, that's all today. I don't think you got anything else.
That's it. Why don't you drop the links since you have everything? Drop the links in the comments. This way people can get to it a little easier.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
That's it. We'll see you guys on next Financial Fitness Friday. As always, if you guys want us to cover a topic, please reach out to us. Let us know. We'll be happy to design what you guys need and go from there.
100%. Guys, kick ass. Be great. Until next time.
Thanks.